course, Jose Ramirez versus Josh Taylor for all the marbles at 140 pounds. This is many boxing experts, and selfishly, and at my end, I think the most anticipated and best matchup of the year thus far. Almost an even matchup at the sports books, which says a lot about the matchup we have in hand here. Also on the card, the main three fights of the broadcast, it's a junior welterweight triple header. In the co-feature, we have Jose Chon Zepeda in his first fight since his fight of the year knockout victory over Ivan Baranchik, taking on the veteran Hammer and Hank Lundy, who I know you all know very, very well from his fights against the likes of Terrence Crawford. And in the TV opener, 8 rounds, Elvis Dominican Kid Rodriguez against Kenneth Sims Jr., one of the top U.S. amateurs, one of the best amateurs this country has produced in quite a long time, won a national championship in 2013. Among many other accolades. So he's getting his big chance here on the Ramirez Taylor card. Couple housekeeping notes, people. You can record with it. Just take you can't record. You can take everything off the Top Rank YouTube channel. So feel free to take that content and use it for your channels. It'll be on the Top Rank YouTube channel as soon as we're done. A programming note. The main card has been moved 30 minutes earlier, so it's now starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That is the triple header that I just mentioned. So those 3 fights will start at 5 p.m. rather than 5:30. The undercard, which includes the likes of Robesi Ramirez and a great featherweight bout between Louis Coria and Jose Enrique Vivas, will be live on ESPN Plus exclusively at 1:45 p.m. Pacific, 4:45 Eastern. Again, that's 30 minutes earlier than the original time. And for our great, incredible fans in the UK, Ramirez Taylor will be shown exclusively on Fight, F-I-T-E, Fight. It's about 10 pounds, so not a huge price to pay for the best fight of the year. And if you all want to ask questions, please use the raise hand mechanism on the Zoom. Send me a chat privately if you'd like to ask a question, and we will go from there. So now that I got all the house cleaning out of the way, we have our first fighter in the chat queue, Kenneth Sims Jr. from Chicago, Illinois. Kenneth, welcome. How are you doing today, sir?
How you doing? I'm pretty good. I'm really good, actually.
You know, so obviously we touched on your amateur background. You know, by any measure, you're one of the best amateurs this country has produced in a very, very long time. 15-2-1. Both of your losses have come via close decision. How excited are you to sort of, you know, after a couple wins under the radar, to get this opportunity against a guy many people think is one of the top prospects in boxing?
I'm super excited. As Coach K would call this, we call this the remix to my career. So I feel like it's a fresh start. You know? I gotta added some people to my team. My dad's still here, but we added a lot to the team and then got a great team and had a great camp. So I'm ready to go.
And you talked about, you know, the addition of Kay Koroma in your corner. Obviously, Kay is known. He works with Shakur Stevenson, Efe Ajagba, many other top guys. Has it been in that camp in Houston around so many top professionals, and what has that brought to the table in terms of your career and your development?
Yeah, I think that's a big deal to the changes I made, because at first, when I first started, it was just me and my dad, basically. I was training at home, sparring at home. And it was just me doing, us using like just the knowledge we have. So it was just kids in the gym, wasn't really a lot of people on the level that I was trying to get to. So with this, I feel like being around people that's at the level that I want to get to, or working towards at the level I want to get to, is just more motivation.
And, you know, before we get to the questions, we got a few in the queue right now. You know, what have you, you know, were you surprised that, you know, Elvis's team said yes to a guy with your pedigree, and what have you seen from Elvis Rodriguez in the ring? What have you in terms of watching him? What have you seen from Elvis Rodriguez?
No, I wouldn't say I'm surprised. I mean, he trying to get to the top just like I'm trying to get to the top. So you got the mentality that you want to be the best. So you ain't gonna say no. So no, I'm not surprised about that. And, he's a good fighter. He's technically sound. He obviously has some power. I don't know how good the power is just because based off the competition. But we'll see. But he's definitely technically sound. He's a good amateur career, so obviously he has some skill.
All right, and now we are going to go to the questions. All right, Keith Eidick, I'm trying to unmute you. Keith, when you're ready, please go ahead. Keith, you're unmuted. Please go ahead.
Evan, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Kenneth, what would beating Rodriguez do for your career? Obviously, you had a couple of setbacks on Showbox, but what would beating him, how would that help revitalize your career and put you on the path where you want to go?
I think a win here just catapults me back to where I'm supposed to be, honestly. But I think a win, because everybody's so highly of him in the boxing world, so a win over him would just get people back highly on me. So that's what I think is a win puts me in the conversation to where I want to be.
And what did you think of his last performance, Kenneth? He went the distance and everything. What did you think of his last fight?
I mean, the last fight was a good measuring stick just to be able to see him go rounds and see things like tendencies and stuff. Because a lot of the other fights short, so you won't really see too much. But the other guy, the last fight was fighting back, so you see like stuff that he's vulnerable, stuff that bothers him, and I mean, you see a lot from that last fight. You was able to see more of him than the other ones just ended quickly.
Did you see, without giving away your game plan or anything, was there anything specific that you took away from it that makes him vulnerable?
Yeah, there's a couple of things I took away from it. I can't really say it right now, but
okay,
there's a couple things, more than one, that I took from that last fight.
Do you think he's been overhyped to a certain extent, or how do you feel about that?
I don't want to say that just because of the performances. I wouldn't say overhyped just because of what he's been doing to the guys in the fight, even though I feel like that's what he was supposed to do to those guys, but you do what you're supposed to do. And I don't really see it as overhyping.
Okay. Thanks for your time, Kenneth.
Thank you.
And Kenneth, you've obviously on paper, Elvis Rodriguez is the toughest test of your career. You're a guy, obviously, when you're in the amateurs, you're used to fighting all the time. You're used to keeping active. There's been a little inactivity over the last couple of years in your career. How does someone like yourself, who has that pedigree, sort of overcome, the lack of activity and keep sharp, especially when you have such a big test coming up?
Yeah, I think the thing with that is I don't think the ring rust will bother me at all, just because for me, I'm a person that, even though I haven't had a lot of fights over the last couple of years, I've been in the gym constantly. I've been in camp with Shakur almost every time he fought. I've been in camp with Bud a couple times, with Jared Hurd, Josh Weir. We all, I'm always, anytime, even though I haven't had a fight scheduled, anytime they have fights, I'm going to camp with them, making sure I'm staying sharp. So, and being in there, I feel like being in there, like sparring. I spar with Shakur, but I feel like sparring with them is more experience than I get in any stay busy fights.
We got a couple questions in the queue, but while we bring those up, I mean, this obviously is a card that features a lot of the top junior welterweights. You obviously got the main event, which will crown undisputed champion. You have Jose Zepeda in the co-feature. I mean, do you look at those fights? I mean, are you excited to be in a card that's sort of featuring the who's who of people in your division? And so what do you think about being able to be up and close and see all of these junior welterweights in action after your fight?
Yeah, I pay attention. I pay attention to everything, honestly. It's like I pay attention to anything in boxing that's close to my weight, around my weight. I pay attention to it because I feel like I need to, because I take this boxing serious. So, but you never know what happened. You never know the call you might get. You never know when you have opportunity. So if I'm prepared for it, I've been thinking about it already. I feel like it helps me. So yeah, I'm paying attention to everything.
And now we go to the questions. R.L. Woodson, you please, R.L., please ask your question when ready.
Thanks, Evan. R.L. Woodson of Bite Down Boxing. Hey, congratulations, Kenneth, in getting this opportunity, man.
Thank you.
Just gonna get your thoughts on, first time out with a new coach, and you're going up against, an opponent that, as Evan just said, he's a guy with a lot of buzz around him. Just what's your thoughts on, not having a different caliber of opponent for the first time out to establish that chemistry?
I mean, I don't really feel like, okay, I don't feel like this is my first fight with Coach K because I've known K since I was like 16 years old. So like when Shakur was getting ready for the Olympics, K had flew me out to come to train with them just because Shakur wanted me there. Like Shakur, my brother, so I trained with K like before he actually became my trainer. I had trained with him some. So this don't really feel like our first fight together. I mean, it's not our first fight together, but on this level it is, but it don't really feel like it. I feel like Dan, my dad, and Kay, like when we've been in camp, they've been working like closely. So it's kind of they're both. It's not really. It don't feel like the first time.
Gotcha. Just the last question. Moving over and like you said, being in this new situation, is it the what's having a greater impact for you? The culture of everybody that's involved, or specific tutelage from Coach K?
It's a mixture of both. Because Coach K, he makes us like, it's like say we sparring, because most of the time we sparring is 2 rings. He'll have us like help each other in the corner. I feel like it helps you like see stuff better. Like say if I'm sparring, Shakur not sparring, Shakur tells me stuff. If I'm sparring, if Shakur sparring, I'm not sparring, and I see something I said to him. You heard he sees something, he'll say it to me. I see something while he's sparring, he'll say it to me. So it's a mixture of everything. So we all like, it's just like a community. It's like a family.
Okay, good deal, man. Like I said, good luck. Best of luck Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you, RL, and Kenneth. Before you go, any final thoughts you want to give to the fans out there, media, just as we approach the crux of fight week?
I mean, I'm coming to win. I'm coming to win. I'm coming to put on a show, take over the show. Really, I'm ready. This is the best camp I've ever had in my life, the most professional camp I've ever had in my life, and I'm just ready to go.
Well, Kenneth, best of luck this week. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you in Las Vegas soon, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kenneth. And that was Kenneth Sims Jr., who's looking to spoil the O of one of the top prospects, soon to be contenders in boxing. That's Elvis, the Dominican kid Rodriguez. Joining Elvis is a Hall of Fame trainer who knows a thing or two about southpaws that walked into his gym. I'm obviously talking about the great Freddie Roach. He's joining us on the call with Elvis Rodriguez. And everybody, we have Gardy Lopez on the line who's going to be translating for Elvis. So if you're asking a question in Spanish, please wait for Gardy to translate in English, and vice versa. If you're asking a question in English, Gardy will be translating that in Spanish for Elvis Rodriguez. So Gardy, please translate this for Elvis. Elvis, welcome today. Obviously, first off, how excited are you to be on a card of this significance so early in your career?
¿Cómo te sientes, Elvis? Saludos. ¿Cómo te sientes de estar en una cartelera tan grande tan temprano en tu carrera?
Bueno, saludos. Primeramente, que nada, buenos días. Y, tú sabes, súper contento y súper preparado para darle un show en esa cartelera. Contento de estar en un evento tan grande, tan temprano en el año, ¿tú me entiendes? Y estamos ready para dar lo mejor de nosotros esa noche.
First of all, good morning to everyone. I'm very excited to be in such a big card, so early in my career, and we're just ready to put on a show on Saturday.
And as always, please use the raise hand button on the Zoom chat, or message me privately if you would like to ask a question. So we will start off with a question in Spanish from Cesar Seda. Cesar, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Elvis, buenas tardes. Y César Seda, edición dividida, Puerto Rico. Te pregunté en la conferencia anterior, en la cartelera anterior que tuviste, sobre la situación del COVID y la condición. Y vimos en esa pelea que no, por lo menos lo que yo observé, no fue el mismo Elvis que siempre estamos esperando. Nos has dado grandes batallas y eso es lo que esperábamos. ¿Cómo te sientes ahora para este combate luego de esa pelea luego del COVID?
Question is, how do you feel? Last time I saw you, I asked you about the positive COVID test that you had, and what I looked on the last fight was that you didn't perform as we are used to seeing you perform. So I asked the same question again. How are you feeling for this fight?
Pero me siento bastante bien, bastante diferente. Este campamento, comparado con mi última pelea, con el campamento de mi última pelea, ha sido bastante diferente. Ha sido un campamento mucho más largo, mucho más exigente, mucho más fuerte. Hemos hecho un trabajo bien inteligente. Y yo te aseguro que estamos al 100%. Estamos al 100 y este sábado lo van a ver.
You know, for the last fight, training camp didn't go as well. It has been totally different this camp. It has been a longer training camp. It has been more challenging, and I'm 100% ready to go. And you're going to see that on Saturday.
Thank you very much. And the next one, we go to Keith Idek. Keith, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to ask Freddie, what did he see? You know, Elvis obviously went some rounds in his last fight. What did you see from him in that fight, Freddie? And what did you like and what did you not like?
I liked his last fight. I thought going the distance was good for him. I think people need to go the distance at some time. You always get tough opponents out there, and going the distance gives him a lot more experience and gives him more rounds. And I think that's going to help him along the way.
Freddie, what do you think of Kenneth Sims Jr.? He hasn't really quite reached his potential that he showed as an amateur, but what do you think of him as maybe the best opponent that Elvis has fought so far?
Yeah, he's one of the best opponents. He's a very good fighter. I mean, he's been in my gym. I think he's sparred with Pacquiao a couple of times and a couple of my other guys. And he's a very solid guy, and we're 100% ready for what he wants to bring.
Freddie, when he sparred with Manny, I'm assuming at your gym, how did he do?
He did very well. He's a very good worker, and not too many people do great with Manny, but he was very competitive, and he tries really hard and he works hard.
Thanks, Freddie. I have a question for Elvis also. Elvis, Kenneth was just on the conference call earlier, and he said he saw some vulnerability in you in your last fight. What would your response to that be?
Que él estuvo escuchando que Sims dijo algo durante la entrevista, que vio algunas cosas vulnerables en tu juego. ¿Cuál sería tu respuesta a eso?
Bueno, yo espero que él, al igual que yo, esté bien preparado el sábado y que si eso es lo que él piensa, que lo demuestre. Yo sé que yo me voy preparado 100% para esta pelea. O sea, de mi última pelea no me sofoco con nada de eso, porque sé que, o sea, no son excusas, pero no tuve el mejor campamento para mi última pelea y eso. Pero esta vez las cosas han sido bastante diferentes y yo te aseguro que estamos al 100%. Y este sábado lo van a ver.
I hope that he comes well prepared as I am right now. You know, if that's what he thinks, I hope he proves it on Saturday. I don't want to make any excuses, but you know, like for the last camp, it wasn't my best training camp, but for this time around, I'm 100% ready. And again, you're going to see that on Saturday.
Why was the last training camp not your best camp?
Que porque el último campamento de entrenamiento no fue tu mejor campamento de entrenamiento.
Bueno, creo que, tú sabes, fue un tiempo corto. Me fui para Santo Domingo a descansar unos días. Entonces, ¿sabes? Tuve que volver y eso. Tuve poco tiempo para hacer peso. ¿Me entiendes? Fue un campamento bien corto.
I said that because it was a shorter training camp. I spent a couple of days, you know, resting in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. And when I came back, you know, I had to get used to the you know, training hard again. And I had just a very short time to make the weight.
Thanks, Elvis.
Thank you, Keith. And Mike Rueda, who comes from Jose Ramirez's neck of the woods in Central Valley, California. Mike, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
I'm gonna ask Elvis first. Elvis, en tu pelea última, pues fuiste a decisión, no ganaste el knockout como esperaban mucho. ¿Qué crees que aprendiste en esa pelea? Dijiste que tenías el campamento no muy bien, pero ¿qué aprendiste yendo pues, a una decisión sobre un knockout?
The last time you fought, you won the distance and you didn't get the knockout like a lot of people expected. How do you feel of getting the decision?
Bueno, creo que ha sido una pelea que me enseñó bastante, una pelea de mucha experiencia. Para mí creo que es la que me ha ayudado de toda mi carrera, porque como tú puedes saber, no siempre va a llegar el knockout, ¿tú me entiendes? Y creo que fue bueno para mí adquirir esa experiencia de irme a la distancia y pelear mis 8 saltos. Creo que ha sido la pelea que más me ha dado experiencia en toda mi carrera.
This last fight was a very good learning experience. I think it's the best fight that I have had and that I have learned more from. And those are the fights that are gonna, help me keep growing as a fighter and continue to get better.
Y aparte de que este campamento has dicho que ha sido mejor, ¿qué crees que va a ser la diferencia más grande en esta pelea de tu última?
What do you think is going to be the biggest difference outside of this being a better training camp for this fight?
Bueno, como tú lo dijiste, ha sido un campamento bastante diferente, un mejor trabajo, un trabajo más inteligente. Hemos tenido buenos compañeros de sparring. Y la diferencia se va a ver el sábado. Yo sé que la diferencia se va a ver el sábado.
This has been a really completely different and very good training camp. I have been working more smartly. I have had better sparring partners, and I know that the difference is going to be seen on Saturday.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike. We've got a couple other questions in the queue. Again, direct message me on the Zoom chat or raise your hand, and we will get to as many questions as possible. Alan Alford has been waiting patiently. Please unmute yourself, Alan, and go ahead.
Thank you so much, Evan. Appreciate that. And I got two questions, one for each. For Freddie first, when you have a fighter like Elvis, a diamond in the rough, how do you keep a fighter like himself not getting too far ahead of himself?
He never gets too far ahead of himself. He works very consistent, and we put him in with really, really tough sparring partners along the way. We have a very good stable here, so we have good sparring for all our opponents. And last camp was a bit short. He got back from his home trip a little bit late, and so it was a little bit short. But this one was in a full camp, and he did his work. He sparred really very good opponents, and we expect Sims to bring the best out of him.
Okay, that's great. And for Elvis, are we going to see you play the guitar at the end of the night after the fight?
La pregunta es que si vamos a verte tocar la guitarra al final de la noche.
Oh, claro, eso seguro. Estamos ready 100% y este sábado lo vamos a montar un show.
Of course, that's for sure. We're 100% ready, and we're going to put on a show on Saturday.
Gardy, ask Elvis, does the guitar the guitar only comes out if he scores a knockout, right? That's like the reward for his knockout?
Que la guitarra solamente sale cuando hay knockout. Cuando no hay knockout, no sale la guitarra.
Sí, ella sale, pero cuando no hay knockout sale un poco más tímida.
So the guitar is always there, but when there's no knockout, it gets a little bit shy.
So I think the fans are looking forward to that. We've got Hank Lundy's coming in shortly, but we've got a couple questions left. Kenyon Atchison, please unmute yourself and go ahead when ready.
Thanks, Evan. Elvis, last time out against Verone, you kind of like started off a little slower than normal. Was it more so of you kind of like pacing yourself, or was it due to you didn't quite have the full camp that you would have really liked to have?
Que la última vez para la pelea con Verón te vimos comenzar un poquito más lento la pelea y te tomó un poco de tomar el tiempo. ¿Fue eso porque quería pacearte y tomar así la pelea, o piensas que fue también el tipo de campamento de entrenamiento que tuviste.
No, no tanto eso, sino, tú sabes, el rival, a pesar de todo, era un rival bastante incómodo, tú sabes, se movía muy bien. Y me tomó un poquito de tiempo entrar en su ritmo, pero ya después que entré en su ritmo, tuviste cómo pudimos llegar a la pelea bien.
No, I really think that it was because of the opponent. You know, he had a very awkward style. He was moving a lot, and you know, it took me a little bit of time to getting rhythm. But once I did that, you saw what happened.
All right. And
Gar-
last,
I'm sorry.
it's okay, Evan. One last question. You really, Elvis, you made a name for yourself during the bubble and whatnot. So how exciting is it now that you have this name, you got some cash to say about yourself, that you're now fighting back in front of fans after, your run in the bubble?
Que cómo te sientes de haber tenido esa corrida en la burbuja donde te diste a conocer, mucha gente conoce tu nombre, y ahora verte pelear frente a fanáticos y en una cartelera tan grande.
No, se siente bien, tú sabes, nos sentimos bastante bien, bastante contentos, eso es lo que queremos, seguir siendo de nivel siempre. Y estamos contentísimos de estar presentes en este evento, que sin duda alguna va a ser uno de los mejores eventos del año, una de las mejores peleas, y abriendo el main event, ¿tú me entiendes? Nos sentimos bien contentos.
We're very happy. We feel very happy with what we have done in the bubble, and right now, fighting in front of fans, that's what we want to do. We want to keep going in levels, and I feel very happy of opening up the broadcast for the main broadcast and fighting on ESPN.
Thank you very much, Gardy. Thank you, Elvis. Gardy just asked Elvis, is there any final comments, final thoughts he wants to give out to the fans and media before he heads out to Vegas in a day?
¿Algún mensaje final que quieras decir antes de terminar la llamada y antes que tengas que salir para Las Vegas?
No, bueno, darle las gracias como siempre a toda mi gente allá en Santo Domingo, aquí mismo en Estados Unidos, que me está apoyando y que solamente esperen lo mejor de mí, como siempre, que estamos 100% ready y el sábado por la noche van a ver un buen espectáculo.
I want to thank everyone for the support, all the support I'm getting from my people in the Dominican Republic and from all the fans and media here in the US. We're going to put on a great show on Saturday.
Well, thank you so much, Elvis. Thank you so much, Freddie, for joining us today. We will see you in Las Vegas. We very much look forward to that matchup. As a reminder, Elvis Rodriguez versus Kenneth Sims Jr. will kick off the broadcast now at 5 p.m. local time, 8 p.m. Eastern, as opposed to 8:30, 5:30, which were the original times. So 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 Eastern. Be there or be square. That's going to start off the junior welterweight triple header. And now we go to a very familiar face, both the top rank and both the boxing fans and media. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, pound for pound, one of the best trash talkers in boxing. It's been a couple years since we've seen Hammer and Hank Lundy back on one of our cards, but he is back. Hank, how you doing today?
Oh man, I'm feeling good, man.
I saw you mention something. You said, you've been away for a while, but you haven't gone anywhere. You haven't fought since February of last year, so it's been about a 14-month layoff. So you said you haven't gone anywhere. Where have you been in those 14 months? What have you been doing? And I know you accepted this fight on relatively short notice. So can you bring us through what you've been going through and how quickly you accepted this opportunity?
Oh man, y'all know what we've been going through, the pandemic. But I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. We've been trying to get fights, man, and Hank Lundy is a guy that nobody wants to fight. At 140, 147, 135, these guys don't want to get in the ring with me, man. I don't know. Like I tell them, scared money don't make no money, but we always ready, man. These guys scared, man. I'm like, what can you make them do? So the only thing Hank Lundy could do, like I did with this fight, stay in the gym, train. I was supposed to fight fell out, and I stayed in the gym, walked in the gym. My trainer said, look, the opponent fell out. I said, let me get on the phone and make a call, see if I can get the fight. And next thing you know, here we are. Stay ready so you won't have to get ready.
I was gonna say let's go to the questions, but when you have Hammer and Hank Lundy on, I just feel like I can just say, hey Hank, talk, and he can spend the next 15 minutes riffing, and we won't get any questions in. But you're all on the call, so we should get some questions in. Keith Eidick, please unmute yourself and go ahead, sir.
Let's go.
Hank, how you doing, man?
I'm feeling good.
Great. I was just wondering, he was supposed to fight Pedro Campa, and the Nevada Commission would not allow that fight to happen. How do you feel? You obviously feel you're a tougher fight for him than Pedro Campa. Can you speak to that and how this all kind of came about?
I really don't know who that guy is. No disrespect, but I just heard his opponent fell out, and me, I'm an old throwback fighter. At the end of the day, man, what they tell you, stay ready. A championship is a phone call away. As long as you stay ready, and that's what Hank Lundy was doing, staying ready. I've been ready. And the man upstairs, I gotta give it all to him, man, for giving me this opportunity to be back on TV. Because I was the first Mr. ESPN. I had to remind a couple people. But it's a God blessing. And I'm happy to be here, and I'm. And I thank the Taylor, Top Rank, for giving me this opportunity.
Hank, I know you were already in the gym, but about how many weeks' notice did you get for this fight?
Oh, it was 3. It was 3-week notice, But my preparation for camp, it took it to a 12-week camp because I was already in camp getting prepared for another fight.
And Hank, what did you think? His last fight was, I think, one of the best fights that any of us have ever seen. I'm just wondering what your perspective is when you see a guy get up from 4 knockdowns and knock a guy unconscious. That's not really a common thing. I just wonder what your thoughts are on that fight.
That's Hank Lundy. That's what Hank Lundy do. Y'all forget this is what I do, So at the end of the day, but one thing I seen in that ring, he like to rock him and sock him, but Hank Lundy got different dimensions. I could go get you. I also could box. But one thing about it, when I hit you, you ain't getting back up. And he's a southpaw. Last time I checked, I'm 3-0 against southpaw.
Thanks a lot, Hank.
And thank you very much, Keith. And yes, in case you all forgot, a little Roy Jones reference there. Yeah, Hank Lundy was a fan favorite on ESPN2's Friday Night Fights. Got off the deck a bunch of times to win fights, and some of the most dramatic fights in recent vintage on Friday Night Fights. John Molina, Danny Williams, a bunch of great fights on ESPN2's Friday Night Fights. So he's back on the big network, back with Joe Tessitore. It's going to be like a reunion here at the Virgin Hotels, Las Vegas. And I forgot to mention the first ever boxing card at the brand new Virgin Hotels Las Vegas, which just opened a couple months ago. The beautiful new resort. So yeah, now that plug is out of the way, but it really is an incredible new resort. It's a great new venue. The former joint at the Hard Rock is where it will take place. It's the theater at Virgin Hotels Las Vegas. So now that I got that out of the way, we go to Jeremy Harridges. Jeremy, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hi, Hank. Thank you for taking the time to talk. You've talked about getting off the deck yourself, the ability that you have with so many different styles. Do you think that it's most beneficial if you go at Zepeda or if you kind of work the boxing angle on him?
Well, you come on, man. I can't let the cat out the bag. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do everything in there. One thing about it, I tell you this: it's 3-week notice, but is he prepared for Hank Lundy? People keep on asking me, am I prepared? I've been in there with every style. Big guys at 140, small guys. Listen, is he prepared for Hank Lundy? I know what I have inside of me. We talking about a guy that just was talking about retiring. He was there to be an opponent that night and got lucky. Hank Lundy's nobody opponent. I'm coming in here and I'm putting it all on the line. This is my championship fight right here. You have Ramirez and Josh Taylor in the main event, but this is my main event right here. It's no tomorrow, so I'm bringing everything.
I was going to ask you, kind of looking where your strengths are, looking at the total number of rounds that Zepeda's fought, I mean, he's been around for a while. He's had 146 total round, but you have 257. Is it your experience which is the X factor in this thing?
It's that too, but and also it has to do with your mind, your body, and what you have deep inside you to get out there and go do. And that's what Hank Lundy going to show you.
Thank you, Hank. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. I think Hank. I think we need to hire Hank as a salesman at Top Rank or something, because he can. This guy could sell hot beverages on the Las Vegas Strip during the summer, man. I'm telling you. I'm like this is the Hank Lundy I remember, man. This is the Hank Lundy we all remember. We got a few other questions here, and then Hank's opponent is going to be joining us, Jose Zepeda. J.R. Bell, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hey there, brother Hank. I think that Evan was right, man. You pretty much handled this whole thing by yourself there. But, you know, on the real tip, though, my question is, I mean, you talked about your overall preparation for this fight and, right, you know, your experience. But kind of going to, you know, like you said, you're training in the gym. You stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And kind of like going to how you know, go against a few different styles in the gym, preparing for a fight, regardless if it's Zepeda or anybody else.
Well, we had everybody in the gym, you know. My team, I got some talented guys, you know, that switch, you know, and it was a blessing, you know, to have them box on both sides. So I've been getting rounds on both sides, you know, even getting ready for a fight. Just say like if I have a guy that's southpaw or a guy that's right-handed, these guys still will switch up because you never know what a fighter's going to do in a fight. You never supposed to prepare for a guy that you see, you know, fight, you know, on YouTube, because they might come in with something different. You always got to train for the things that you don't see. Throw a wild guy in there that throw punches from north to south to east to west. You know, you got to throw a guy in there that just throw punches. He don't even care if he hits you. You know, all different aspects. And that's what Hank Lundy do, prepare for a fight. We bring everything in camp, everything. We don't miss out nothing. We want the rugged guys that's dirty too. We want them too. We want everything. That way, fight time comes, we won't be surprised by anything because we had it in camp. And that's what Hank Lundy all about. You know, it ain't no crying with me. We coming in there, we gonna fight.
Yeah, gotcha. It looks like it's the dirtier when it comes to training them, man. So, hey, thanks for that, brother Hank.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, JR. Now that we have Hank, you know, I think he's got a lot to say about everything. So maybe he can tell us what cryptocurrency I should invest in or something, because, you know, maybe a little investment advice. Hank, I know Hank, you've got like a cleaning business now that you're doing. You're an entrepreneur. So if you have any investment advice, how I should diversify my portfolio, let me know, Hank. So we'll talk in the bubble. We'll talk in the bubble. We got a couple other questions. Alan Alford, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
All right, Hammerin, how you doing? Good.
How you
Thank
doing,
you,
my
Evan.
guy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Hey, I gotta ask you this question. You're one of the few people that's ever done this. How is it being in the ring with Terrence Crawford? Explain that experience. A guy who changed up his styles, like you said.
Oh man, I loved it, man. You know, and I actually want that rematch. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. The day of that fight, I woke up 136. You know, I had a full breakfast to eat up to 138, 139. The night of the fight, he was a bigger guy. You know, 160. I was 145. You know, but now my body fully grew, and now I'm not gonna lie, I'm coming down for 160 myself now. So I would like that fight back, because if I do believe I was winning that fight, you know, a little mistakes happened, got caught. You know, it is what it is. But I will be chasing him real soon.
Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you for letting me know that.
All right, thank you very much, Alan. Looks like we've got a couple other questions. Daniel Carpio. Daniel, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Let's say, well, thanks for taking my question. This year has been full of like a lot of recent upsets of fighters that were looked at as far as getting late replacements in and then getting upset by them. How confident are you that you're going to be the latest late replacement upset that is going to get a surprise victory?
Oh, sorry, Hank, please. I said you're on mute, Hank. Please unmute yourself, Hank. Go ahead. Hank Lundy, please unmute yourself.
Okay, I got you. Well, I'm not really, feeding into that, man. I'm here and I'm here to fight, man. And if anybody got any doubt, Vegas got doubt, I'm gonna make you a believer. That's one thing I love, man. I love turning people into a believer. Oh, he only had 3 weeks. Oh man, Hank Lundy old. Oh, Hank Lundy washed up. But you ask these fighters when they get in the ring with Hank Lundy, it's either their career over or they never the same. And one thing about it, I'm going to be victorious, man, in this fight, man. I've been training hard. I've been waiting for this opportunity. I've been waiting to get back on TV. This is where Hank Lundy belongs. I'm ready, and I'm going to be victorious. Listen, my hand going to be raised high.
And we got a couple more minutes and wait for. So as I said, with questions, please raise hand in the chat queue or just send me a direct message if you'd like to ask a question of Hank. We're trying to locate Jose Zepeda, who should be on in a few minutes. I mean, Hank, obviously you've sort of hopped around from 35 to 40 and back, and you mentioned you'll find anybody at 35, 40, or 47. But obviously you're best known for your fights at 135. Does the weight class really matter to you? I mean, does it worry you at all when you're going against a world-class top 5 guy at 140 pounds, or do weight classes not really matter to you?
No, it don't matter. At the time it was all timing, and that's where my body was at. But now, I'm not gonna lie, I grew out of 135, and I held it down. I've been a professional for about 15 years, making 135. Generally, these guys don't do that. If you look at their track record, after like 5, maybe 4 years, these guys jump up to another weight class. I did it for 15 years, 135. When fights went at 135, I was forced to move up to 140, where I took some of my losses and got the short end of the stick, but I stayed true to myself and true to the game and respected the game, and I could say I'm one of the rare fighters that I got 15 years at 135, man, and I'm still going strong, but it was time to move up, man. So that's why I jumped on this fight too, because I know it's time to move up. And 140, I'm big and strong. And if you didn't remember, ask a Lucia and a Jose, when he fought Matisse, had a war, and he came in and he down talked. He the smaller guy. You know what I mean? I'm the better guy versus Hammer and Hank Lundy. And what did I do to him? And he was a southpaw. What did I do to him?
And we got we got a few more questions in the chat while we wait for Zepeda. Good news is Hammer and Hank Lundy can hold it down while we wait for Chone Zepeda to join the call. So we're going to keep you a few extra minutes, Hank. R.L. Woodson, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, Hank?
What's going on?
Appreciating the energy that you had, that you're bringing in today, man. Seems like you got a great handle on this thing already, as Evan and others have mentioned. I just wanted you to get your thoughts on the fact that you get to come into this opportunity with fans coming back versus, a month or so ago, you might have went into that bubble environment. I'm sure you can handle it, but I just want your thoughts on it.
Oh, man, listen. At the end of the day, I can fight with fans and with no fans. I'm from Philadelphia. Sometimes on these streets, you have no fans and you got to fight. You got to do what you got to do. So I'm used to not having no fans, Look, it's a fight for me either way. With fans, with no fans. Hank Lundy going to do what he do, baby. It's hammer time.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, let's see here. Looks like we might have a couple other questions coming in, but while we wait Hank, looking back, you talk a lot. You talk a lot, and I go back to the Terrence Crawford fight. You talked a lot before that fight, but what did you take back from that experience against Terrence Crawford? I mean, I know it was 5-6 years ago, but you still, after that fight, you remained as confident and bold as ever. What do you remember from that experience 5-6 years ago, fighting a guy that would go on to be, pound for pound, one of the best fighters of his generation?
No love lost. I was doing my job, man. One thing about it, in this sport of boxing, man, if you not studying from all these greats that been in the game and taking little pieces and molding your own self to being something great or to being a legend, what you in the game for? At the end of the day, you always supposed to ruffle your opponent's feathers. You got to ruffle them feathers, baby. But it was all love, you know what I mean? It was practice, you know what I mean? And no love lost. Proud of Terrence Crawford, what he's doing in the sport, man. One of the pound for pound best, you know what I mean? But, I still want to get back in there and dance again.
And again, Hank, before we let you go, any final words, final thoughts that you want to tell to the media and the fans?
Oh, I'm gonna put it like this, man. The media, the fans, Hammer and Hank, thank you from the bottom of his heart, man. Like I tell y'all, it ain't over. It ain't over. I got 5 more years, 6 more years in me. Listen, I thank y'all for rocking with Team Hammer, pushing me, showing me love, the boos, the cheers. I fight for y'all, man. And the Top Rank, after the fight, if you want to come sign Hank Lundy, we open to it. You need a show, man. Somebody that's going to fight, a real fighter. You know what I mean? But I thank Top Rank for giving me this opportunity. I thank my promotion, my promoter, D-Lee Promotion, and my manager, my team, man, everybody been excellent. We ready for this point, man. Top Rank, I think all you guys, it's gonna be a fun night, man. Come, May 22nd, man. Not only for Top Rank, not only for ESPN, for everybody around the world, man. Get to see Hammer and Hank back on the tube and back in my home on ESPN. I love y'all and I thank y'all. And listen, Hammer and Hank coming to a city and town near you. Watch out, it's Hammer time.
Thank you, Hank. And when you're done with this boxing, you definitely have a future as a politician, because you can filibuster with the best of them, my friend. We are going to take thank you for joining us, Hank. We are going to take a quick pause right now while we wait for Jose Ramirez. So everybody, please hang on, and we will be back with you shortly. Thank you. much for your patience and welcome back. Jose Zepeda got a little tied up, so we are going to go right to the main event of the evening. He is a 2012 United States Olympian. He is 26-0, 17 knockouts, WBC, WBO junior welterweight champion of the world. He is also attempting to become the first man of Mexican descent to be undisputed champion here in the four-belt era. Of course, I'm talking about Jose Carlos Ramirez from California's Central Valley, proudly representing California's Central Valley, where he has done so much great humanitarian work over there. So Jose, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. And can you just first start off with, now that it's fight week and now that you're 4 days away, how real does this fight feel? I mean, now that we're in fight week and we're in the crux of everything.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting, and again, I'm taking things day by day, and making sure everything, my body, my recovery, my weight's good, and I feel really composed. I feel like I trained really, really good. Training camp went the best way it could have gone, and I did everything as perfect as I could, and we're ready. We're ready to just go in that ring Saturday night and perform. It's gonna be a great fight.
And we have a lot of questions in the queue, so I'm going to try and get to as many people as I can, but obviously Jose's got a schedule to keep, so we can't keep him here forever. We will start with Keith Idek. Keith, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hey, Jose, I'm just wondering, when you fought Jose Zepeda, obviously it was a close fight, southpaw. What did you learn from that fight? Not that they fight necessarily the same way, but what did you learn from that fight against a southpaw that you can apply against Josh Taylor?
Well, Jose Zepeda, he's a southpaw, but he's a very crafty, difficult style. He's really low, and he comes in a way, he was a little careless in the way he walked. He came in, and I got caught with a couple of headbutts. And I myself like to fight low sometimes, but he was his style was a little difficult, more than what I expected. But I faced many southpaws in my career as an amateur and my professional level. So him and Taylor are completely different fighters.
Is Zepeda trickier than Taylor, or vice versa, or how do you look at it?
Yeah, I'll say, I'm not saying he's a better fighter than Taylor, but saying his style was a little more difficult, But once I put my punches together, I was able to take him behind the ropes and take advantage and finish strong. But Taylor's taller. Taylor, he's more of a in and out boxer. He could let his punches, go and the inside when he faces opponents that try to come in the inside, but they're completely different.
And just one last question, Jose. Obviously, if Zepeda wins on Saturday on the undercard and you win, he's a mandatory for you to fight him again. What do you think about a potential rematch against him at some point?
Yeah, why not? I wouldn't care.
All right, thank you very much, Keith. Now, Telemundo Chicago, Raul, and Jose Gardy, if you're there, Raul is going to be asking the question in Spanish. So we will have Gardy translate it for everybody on the chat. Go ahead, Raul.
Awesome. José, ¿cómo te va? Saludos. Antes que nada, quería comentarte cómo te sentiste en este campamento y especialmente pues ya para este reto que significa Taylor, que pues obviamente sabemos que es un boxeador de calidad.
No, me siento en primer lugar muy, muy bendecido, ¿no? De llegar tan lejos y es un gran honor, para mí ser parte de una pelea tan grande, tan importante para el boxeo y la verdad el campamento me fue muy bien, me sentí muy motivado, me sentí emocionado, entrené fuerte, creció dentro de mí, de dar lo mejor de mí cada sesión de entrenamiento que hacía y primero Dios, vamos, todo el sacrificio, todo lo que hice se va a mirar el 22 de mayo.
I feel very blessed and honored to be part of such a big event as this one. You know, as the days went by in training camp, my desire to keep getting better and win, keep growing and growing, and I know that you're gonna see that on Saturday night.
Thank you very
Jose,
much.
can
Sorry.
I just get one more in, Evan, real quick?
Yeah, one more, Raul.
Okay. José, has ido mejorando pelea por pelea. Ahora, ¿qué podemos esperar de ti este próximo sábado, pues, ante un peleador como Taylor?
Sí, yo creo que un peleador como Taylor va a sacar hasta cosas mejores de mí, porque él es técnico y cuando te enfrentas con un boxeador más técnico, se ven las cosas más claras y se ve la pelea más limpia. Y van a poder ver las cosas pequeñas que van a demostrar la experiencia que tengo yo como boxeador. Y van a poder mirar mis habilidades y espero lucirme porque va a ser contra un gran boxeador. So, más crédito para mí.
Gardy?
Yeah, so I feel honored and of fighting such a great fighter like Josh Taylor. I know he's going to bring the best out of me, and I'm going to show the little things that I've been working on, and you're going to see that on Saturday. I know everything will come out on Saturday night, and against a great fighter like Josh Taylor, so that's going to be more credit to me.
All right, thank you very much, Raul. We've got a ton of questions in the queue, so I'm going to limit it to one question per reporter, so that way everybody, as many people can get a chance to ask a question as possible. Jeremy Harridges, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hi, Jose. Thank you for taking the time to talk. I know in some of the media quotes building up to the fight, you've talked about being the underdog in the past, and you're aware that many people are picking against you. Does that ever surprise you, considering all that you've accomplished and the numbers on paper, the experience? How do you view that, and why do you think people are picking against you?
I'm not really sure. I've never been a big fan of opinions such as who's the best out there, who's a better fighter between one or the other. When you look back when boxing was more alive in the 60s, and everybody faced each other, and one would beat the other guy, and the other guy would beat the other guy, and they were all winning against each other, beating against each other, and styles, were sometimes a certain style was more complicated than the other. So in boxing, I felt like people have forgotten that. I think they don't understand that in this sport, every fight's gonna be, especially in this level of competition, every fight's gonna be tough. So I always train like the underdog. I always train like this is the most important fight, and I have to. I cannot afford to lose. So I have that mentality in me that I cannot afford to lose, and I'll find a way to win. And I'm very composed. I'm not paying attention too much of that. Never have, and I'm going out there just hoping to bring the best out of me and hoping to show my skills the best way I can.
Thank you very much. As a reminder to everybody who's asking in the chat, as I mentioned before, after it's done, this chat will be available on the Top Rank YouTube channel. Feel free to use content, take content from our channel for your channel. Happy to do that. So there's the answer to the question that everybody keeps asking me in the chat. If you joined me in the beginning, you would have known that, but I gotta let the stragglers know as well. A couple of UK questions we have coming in here. I feel it's only fitting to get to a couple of people from across the pond. Boxing UK, you are up. Go ahead when ready.
Hi, Jose. It's Steve from Boxing UK.
Hello, Steve.
Hi, Jose. Obviously, over here in the UK, Jose, everybody knows an awful lot about Josh Taylor, and we can make an argument as to why Josh will win on Saturday. What can you tell us about you, and can you tell UK fans why you'll be the best man on Saturday?
One thing, I've been preparing for this fight all my life since the age of 8 years old. first and foremost, I've always respected the sport of boxing very, very much, and I'm a very dedicated person to the sport. I also respect the sport and everyone who participates in the sport of boxing, including all my opponents. And I'm happy to see that Josh Taylor has the support that he does from the UK. That's the way he should be. We go through a lot. We sacrifice so much. We put our lives on the line to entertain you guys. So the least that we could expect is some support back, So I'm happy to hear that he has a lot of support. I'm just a very determined fighter, and I feel like a great fighter like Josh Taylor was going to bring the best out of Jose Ramirez. I'm very well prepared. I'm very confident with my skills. I'm a man of faith, and I'm gonna push myself, and I'll find a way to win on Saturday, May 22nd.
Thank you, Steve, from Boxing UK. We go back to the UK. A lot of Brits, a lot of Scots here in the chat, as to be expected. Jonathan Nagyoff, please unmute yourself and go ahead. Very nice looking lounge chair you have there, Jonathan. More comfortable than when I'm sitting. So good work on the lounge chair, sir. Go ahead.
Hi, Jose. Josh has spoken of sort of the significance of winning this fight, not only becoming undisputed champion, but emulating what Ken Buchanan did as a Scotsman. For you, what is the significance not only of winning this fight, but other than just the belts?
Yeah, this is a fight that's gonna bring a lot of glory to myself, to my family, and it's gonna make me the first Mexican fighter, Mexican descent, Mexican American fighter to become undisputed world champion in the history of boxing. So this is a historical fight for me as well. This could open up doors for the Hall of Fame for me in the future. This is something that that will put me in the books as one of the best to ever put some boxing gloves. This is a big fight for me, and it's a fight that not only brings glory to the Mexican people in Mexico, but also to all the hardworking immigrants in the United States, as I'm a proud immigrant myself.
And thank you for that. And we'll go to our next question in a second. As a programming reminder, both episodes of Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Ramirez versus Taylor, are now available on Top Rank's YouTube channel. They both premiered on ESPN2, so that's a two-part behind-the-scenes look, 24/7 style of this matchup. So please give that a look. And as mentioned, this camp, Jose obviously is the son of farm workers, worked in the fields himself growing up in Central Valley. And during this camp and during the pandemic, he's done a lot of work out in the community, both to give the farm workers supplies and things they needed to get through the pandemic, and is working with local leaders and politicians to inform farm workers about the importance of getting vaccinated and keeping that community safe. So a couple of things Jose's been working very closely on in this camp. So he's fighting for a lot, fighting for his Mexican people, fighting for his people in the Central Valley, as he always does. So we are going to go now to Jose Camarillo. Jose, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Sí, ¿qué tal todos? Hi, everyone. Para José Carlos Ramírez, está rodeado de familia michoacana. Eso es el nombre aquí de una banda no muy bien vista, o sea, gente que no es buena, pero en este caso la familia michoacana, me refiero a que los García, desde su papá, todos ellos están arropándote. Eso es una inspiración más que sea que el papá de ellos, de los García, también sea inmigrante, que sus papás son inmigrantes. Lo mencionaste tú ahorita, que eres un orgulloso hijo de inmigrantes. ¿Qué me puedes decir esto en cuanto a que te sirva a levantar más tu espíritu para la pelea?
What can you say about getting the support of the Garcia family, from Robert to Big G, everyone supporting you, and also they also becoming from immigrant parents like yourself? Do you think that's gonna lift you up with that support to get the big win on Saturday?
Sí, la verdad, para mí la verdad, es un orgullo. En primer lugar, es un orgullo llevar la sangre que llevo yo. Mi apellido, mi familia me han dado me han dado mucho ánimo, me ha dado mucha fuerza de reconocer que mi familia fue una familia muy trabajadora, muy fuerte. Y la familia de Roberto pues es muy similar. Ellos entienden la vida que yo viví de chicos porque fue muy similar. Como lo dicen, ellos también inmigraron del estado de Michoacán y somos paisanos, pues. Y la quemestría que tenemos nosotros es como una familia grande. Y me da gusto saber que ahí está toda la familia García apoyándome a mí. Eso me motiva mucho, porque durante todo el campamento ellos estuvieron ahí conmigo, motivándome y sacando lo mejor de mí.
I feel very proud of the blood that runs through my veins. You know, I feel very proud of my last name, of my family, everything that we represent. We came migrated from Michoacan, and we have been always a very hardworking family. And about the Garcia family, you know, they also came from Michoacan as my family, and it's great to have the support from them. You know, they're motivating me every single day, you know, just to achieve my goal of becoming undisputed champion.
Gracias.
Thank you very much. Erica Montoya, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon to everyone. Mi pregunta, José Carlos, me gustaría que me explicaras, tú dices que sientes muchísimo orgullo de llevar la sangre que tienes, pero para ti, ¿qué significaría convertirte en el primer campeón indiscutido con sangre mexicana? Vaya, ahora que todo el mundo compite por la posibilidad de tener ese tipo de distinción.
You said that you feel very proud of the blood that runs through your veins, but what would it mean to you to become the first undisputed champion of Mexican descent?
Será algo muy bonito, ¿no? De poderla representar, como te digo, mi familia, la sangre que llevo, los grandes guerreros que salen de México, la buena sangre que sale de allá. Será un sentimiento muy grande que todavía no me lo puedo imaginar muy bien hasta que se llegue el momento, ¿no? Pero espero traerles mucho orgullo y espero que estén todos contentos con mi presentación. Y yo creo que yo estoy dispuesto, ¿no? de compartir toda esta alegría con todo el público, con toda la gente mexicana, toda la gente inmigrante, toda la gente trabajadora que le gusta luchar. Quisiera yo compartir todo esto con todos ellos.
I think it would be a beautiful moment, you know, a beautiful experience. Right now, I cannot even imagine, you know, how will it be. But you know, as soon as this happens, I know it's gonna hit me, and I'm gonna share that moment and bring that happiness to all my people. I really hope that they are happy with my performance and that they're very proud of me.
All right, we one more question because Josh is about to log in. So we'll, I'll the people who were in the queue that couldn't get a question with Jose, I'll try and get you one with Josh as well. So I think it's only fitting that we close things off with Jose in the Central Valley with Mike Rueda. So Mike, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Thank you, Jose, for taking time. Real quick, man. Obviously, you came from the Central Valley. You come from humble upbringings, and you know you've worked hard to get where you're at. Even your biggest dreams as a kid growing up, becoming a boxer, did you ever think that you would get to a point in your career like this, fighting undisputed in the biggest fight of the year so far?
When I first started boxing, you know, I had no idea what the sport was going to do for me. I'm the first in my family to box. My parents, they were just so focused on working and providing for us. They wanted to make sure we had a good education. They wanted to make sure that we had a better life than what they did, you know, and they didn't want us to suffer as much as they suffer. But the more I started winning as an amateur, the more I started making it to bigger tournaments and competing against the best amateur fighters. That's when I knew that the sport was going to do a lot for me, and that's when I knew that the sport was going to help me provide for my family and to be able to help out. I just wanted to return the favor. All the work that my father did for us, didn't go unrecognized, and I appreciated them so much that I wanted to give back and help them. And I told my father one day that one day he was going to be his own boss, or he wasn't going to have to work again. So, those were the goals that kept me in the sport of boxing, pushing myself to become the best. And I'm grateful and honored to be in this level of competition. I really feel like a blessed man. Now I have my own family of my own, and I'm able to give them privileges that never thought I was going to be able to give them, and I'm very thankful for that.
And that'll wrap up the Q&A with Jose. We have Josh Taylor on the line. Josh has a very interesting. Josh, before I let Jose go, Josh, are you there, Josh?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Jose, what do you think of Josh's conference call outfit here today? Josh, you're very relaxed. You got the shirt off. You couldn't find the tank top, Josh?
Yeah, I'm just there. I've been out the back, chilling out in the sunshine, enjoying some sunshine. Yeah, I'm chilled out here. I just can't wait to get going on Saturday. So all the hard work's done, everything's done. So yeah, I'm chilling out in between a little bit of a session later on, and yeah, just chilling out, enjoying myself.
Hey, Jose, why didn't you come with this? Why didn't you come with this sort of outfit? I think it was Nike Boxing made you wear the hoodie, right? Otherwise, you would have been like Josh, shirts off and stuff, right?
No, I'm just comfortable. We got the AC on. It's and it's a sunny day here in Riverside, but I'm inside. I'm indoors, and I wanted to be comfortable myself with the sweater. But there's times that I take off my shirt and just be relaxed. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, listen. I think Jose's saving that for the weigh-in. Jose, yeah. Any final comments?
I'm just at the back here trying to get a good tan. That's all it is.
there's nothing wrong with that, man.
Well, Jose, you're from the Central Valley, where
I'm like pale blue. I'm like a bottle of milk. I need to get some color before I go back to Scotland.
Yeah. So Jose lives in the Valley, where it's sunny about 340 days a year. Josh is from Scotland, where it's sunny, about 34 days a year. So he's got to get the tan in before he heads back to Scotland.
Enjoy the sun, definitely.
Well, listen, Jose, thank you so much for joining us today. We're all
guys.
Looking forward to Saturday night. We'll let you run, and we will see you
guys soon.
Thank you, Jose.
All right, brother. Take care.
And now we are joined by the Tartan Tornado, Josh Taylor, who is going for a little history of his own, looking to be the first Scottish man to become undisputed champion. And if I'm not mistaken, he would be the third fastest to undisputed status if he were to win on Saturday. Josh, how you doing today? And same question I asked Jose. Now that it's fight week, does it feel like more real? Now that it's fight week, you're here in Vegas, and we're only a couple days away.
No, I'm nice and relaxed. Listen, I'm totally relaxed about this week. I couldn't be any more prepared, any more mentally and physically prepared. I've prepared to the best of my ability, so I'm nice and relaxed. I'm not wasting any energy on thinking about the fight and thinking about that. It's just another day at the office on Saturday. It's just another day at the office with a lot of city eyes on me. But I am totally confident in this fight. So no, I'm not feeling the bit between my teeth and getting anxious. I'm totally relaxed, as you can see. So I'm totally relaxed and full of confidence going into this fight. So I'm just taking it as it comes and enjoying the ride.
And we're going to start with the questions. Keith Eidick. Keith, please unmute yourself and go.
Hey, Josh. The last time that Jose Ramirez fought a southpaw when he fought Cepeda, a lot of people thought that he lost the fight. I'm just curious what you thought of that fight, and maybe how he. I know you don't fight the same way, of course, as Cepeda, but how he fared against the southpaw.
Josh, please unmute yourself. Josh, sorry, you actually muted. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I thought that Ramirez was very, very fortunate to come away with that decision. I thought that I personally scored the 8 rounds to 4 to Zepeda when I watched it. But you know, it is what it is. You know, it's past. We're here, there, done it. He got the result that he was looking for. You know, and that's the past is the past. I'm not really too interested in what he's done before. It's all about Saturday and things that I've seen and holes in his game and things like that that I think I can exploit on Saturday. So I'm not too fussed about dwelling on past fights.
Just in general, Josh, do you think that he's vulnerable against southpaws?
I think he's vulnerable, full stop. I think he's going to be quite easy to find. I don't think I'm going to have to go looking for him to hit him. That's for sure. I know his styles come forward, so it's got the makings to be an absolute barn burner fight, you know, because he comes to fight and I come to fight. So it's going to be a good fight for sure.
Thank you, Keith. Now we go to Jeremy Harridges. Jeremy, please unmute yourself.
Hi, Josh. You're talking about, you know, passing for instance and not looking too much at them, but you do have a shared opponent in Victor Postal. Looking at your performance versus his performance, is there anything that you can take away from that? Did that help you understand his style any better? And what do you make of that?
Listen, I've said this a few times in a few different interviews. You know, I give him the benefit of the doubt. I was not impressed with what I've seen against Victor Postal. I give him the benefit of the doubt with having 3 back-to-back training camps, you know, peaking 3 times and all that sort of stuff. You know, that can have maybe a little bit of an effect on you. But no, I'm not dwelling on past opponents. That is a fight that's been and done in the past. It's all about Saturday. I'm pretty sure he's been in the gym and rectifying the things that I think he probably thinks he could have done better or things like that. I'm pretty sure he's been working hard in the gym and working on righting wrongs that he did and mistakes that he made and things like that. I'm pretty sure he's been working hard to make sure that he doesn't do them again.
All right. Next, we go to Jonathan Nagyoff. Jonathan, please go ahead.
Hi, Josh. Could you just touch on sort of the extra work you've had with Ben Davison? Now it's sort of your second camp. How's that sort of working relationship developed?
It's been brilliant. You know, I've never been so relaxed and happy in a fight camp. You know, just the way I've prepared, I've had a nice long preparation for this fight. You know, after my last fight with Kong Song, I took a couple of weeks off, come back down, was ticking over in the gym and things like that. You know, then I went home for Christmas, which is the first Christmas I've had off since I've turned professional. So I relaxed in Christmas, ate some good food, put on a little bit of weight, but I was always taking over in the gym back home. And then as soon as New Year happened, I was right back down to London and gym and training again. So I've been in a long preparation for this fight, a long camp. We've trained diligently and sharply, and we've got a great game plan going ahead this Saturday. And the relationship with Ben is just it's brilliant. You know, it's not only a boxer and trainer relationship, it's also a friendship as well. You know, he's a real good guy, with that respect there, that when we go into the gym, he's the boss, you know. So yeah, it's very good, and we're happy where we're at and the way things have went.
Best of luck, Josh. Cheers.
Thank you, Jonathan. Boxing UK, please unmute yourself. One question and go ahead. Boxing UK, please unmute yourself. Going once, going twice.
Hi, Josh. It's Steve from Boxing UK.
Hello, Steve.
Hello, mate. Josh, last time we spoke was just before the World Boxing Super Series final. Will that final, the experience of that huge event, help you this weekend, do you think? And if you win, do you want to be in the pound-for-pound conversation at last?
Well, I'm in the pound-for-pound conversation. I should already be there. I think I'm ranked number 9 with the Ring magazine. Which is good, you know, which is brilliant. You know, but like I say, I'm not one for getting awards and accolades and things like that. I'm not really too fussed, you know, but I let the performances and stuff speak for themselves. You know, I'm used to the big stage. You know, I've been on the big stage since 2010. I've been used to big stages with the Commonwealth Games, then the Olympics in 2012, then World Championships, European Championships. then the Commonwealth Games again in my home country in Glasgow, winning the gold medal, you know, and then I've been also involved with Carl Frampton's undercards, and my debut was on a big card. Then the two fights with Leo Santa Cruz. I've also been involved in a few big fights myself now as well. So I'm used to the big stage. It does not faze me at all. If anything, I thrive under the big lights and the big stage, and it's what I live for. You know, I'd actually hoped that this fight was at full capacity. You know, like in Texas last week, we watched in Texas last week, 73,000 fans at a match, no restrictions, no masks, no social distancing, nothing. You know, why can't they do it here? It seems to be working in Texas. It seems that we should be taking that approach everywhere else as well. So it's a little bit frustrating that I'm actually not got a bigger crowd to perform in front of. So no, I don't feel that I'll be phased in any way, shape or form. If anything, I am relishing the opportunity to fight in front of a crowd again. I can't wait.
Thank you. And next we go to Josh Katzowitz. Josh, please unmute yourself.
Hey, Josh. You know, assuming you win and become undisputed champ, is it possible to have any kind of run as, you know, four belt holder? Didn't happen with Terrence Crawford. Didn't happen with Usyk when he went cruiserweight. Is it possible in this boxing political climate to actually be able to do that? And if so, are you interested in kind of having a longer run with all four belts?
Yeah, well, listen, but I've not tracked out what I'm doing or anything like that. When I fully believe in winning this fight on Saturday, you know, so I'm not looking past it. I'm concentrating on Saturday, and then we'll just take it as it comes, see what comes my way, you know, see what comes, see what happens, see what opportunities arise, and what options are on the table, and what's the best one for me at the time. That's which one I'll take. So I'm not set out a set road path of where I'm going or what I'm doing next. I'm focusing on Saturday, and I'm just taking everything as it comes.
Thank you very much. Brandon Stubbs, please unmute yourself. Brandon Stubbs, going once, going twice. And whoop, Brandon Stubbs must be sleeping. So let's go to J.R. Bell. J.R., please unmute yourself.
All right there, Josh. You talked about the whole thing about pound for pound discussion, but I wanted to touch on, you know, the legacy of being in an undisputed title fight here at, you know, super lightweight. Now, if you were able to, you know, get this win, what would that mean for you in your legacy as a fighter, specifically in this super lightweight division?
This fight to me, it means the world. You know, it is a massive piece of history for both of us. You know, for myself to become the first undisputed champion in Scotland in the four belt era, the first undisputed champion since my fellow countryman Ken Buchanan, you know, in Scotland. It's a massive, massive piece of history. This really, really cements my name in British boxing history and Scottish boxing history as an all-time great, you know. So this really cements my name in the history books and in the legacy books, being a great fighter. So it means a lot to me, this fight. This fight means everything to me. I mean, I've prepared so well and so long and so hard for this fight, to win this fight, to achieve this. It's on the cusp of achieving something great, and going down as potentially a Hall of Famer fighter. You know, it's just it is huge for me, this fight. I can't express how much I want to win this fight and how important it is to me.
All right, and next we go to the Central Valley. Mike Roweda, you're back. Please unmute yourself.
Josh, obviously, this is the biggest fight of your career. As you said, you would hope it would be full capacity. But the fact that fans are going to be back in any way, shape, or form, how much do you think that's going to help you out in your performance as well? You know, as Jose, as he said, he had a little bit of an issue without the fans in his last fight.
Yeah, it's going to be great, you know, because the fans there give you that extra little bit of butterflies, a little bit of, you know, pre-match jitters, because there's fans there watching you. They create an atmosphere, they make noise, and they make the event bigger and better and special, you know. So it gives you that little bit of butterflies, because there's fans there watching. There's going to be making an atmosphere. They're going to be either singing or booing, or and it gives you that little bit more fire and determination and butterflies in your stomach. So my last fight as well was in front of no fans, and it was very hard to keep in the zone when you're coming out to the ring with no fans, with your ring music on but no fans, and then getting shouted out. It was like just a glorified sparring match, and it was quite hard to keep up for it mentally. So this fight's going to be easy. It's going to be brilliant. We're both used to fighting in front of fan bases and big fans, so having some kind of normality back is awesome. It's brilliant.
Thank you. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
And now we go ahead to a couple more questions for Josh Taylor, and then we're going to end the chat. It's been a long chat, so I don't want to keep everybody here all day. Jose Camarillo, please unmute yourself. Yep, I see. And go ahead when ready, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. What is the meaning, Josh, of saying no pain, no gain? As said in the series.
No pain, no gain. I think it speaks for itself. Goes without saying, in any walks of life, if you want to go for something, there's no pain, no gain. You've got to work hard, you've got to sacrifice, you've got to put yourself through things that that's hard, that's tough, it's painful, to gain experience, to gain money, to gain whatever, to gain new businesses, to gain whatever. You've got to go through some kind of pain to have the gain. It's in all walks of life, I believe that. There's no pain, no gain. I've trained so hard for this fight. I've put myself through a whole lot of misery and pain, and a lot of sacrifices away from home, my friends, my family. No pain, no gain. It's nothing worth having and going for in life. It doesn't come easy, so you've got to go through a little bit of pain to get there.
And I'm going to answer this question. Brandon Stubbs' connection cut off when I called him, but he did message. He wanted to ask Josh the ripple effect, given that the fighters at 147, 140, and 135, they're all looking at the winner of this fight. So how do you sort of see that landscape, and how aware are you that everybody within a 3-division radius will have their eyes set on this fight Saturday night?
Oh, it's brilliant. It's a massive fight, and there's, like you say, there's 3 weight categories where fighters can be potentially fighting after this. So the possibility and the options after this fight is massive. There's going to be certain options of fights and what fights you want to choose after this fight. So it's great. It's really exciting times.
And again, I apologize to everybody who had a question in the queue that couldn't get to, but we had a lot of questions. Obviously, a fight of this magnitude, a whole lot of interest and a lot of questions. So I apologize to those who I did not get to today. Josh, any final thoughts? Again, 4 days away. Any final thoughts you want to say to your Scottish people, and anybody that fans and media and anybody out there watching?
Just to fans and stuff. I'm thankful for the support. I've been getting overwhelmed with messages over my social media, and messages of support and from my phone and things like that. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who's taken the time to wish me good luck and well wishes. And I'm going to win this fight on Saturday for you all. I'm gutted that none of your travelling fans can come over and see me as well. So I promise to win this fight and not let you down. And we will be back at some point in the future. And thanks for the continued support. It really means a lot to me.
And thank you, Josh. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the call today. I'm just, as I mentioned, in the United States, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus, 8 Eastern now, 5 Pacific for the 3 main fights. That's 1 a.m. UK time exclusively on Fight, F-I-T-E, over in the UK. The undercard, Javier Martinez, Raymond Murataya, Robesi Ramirez, Andres Cortez, and the Louis Correa Jose Enrique Vivas fight will be 1:45 Pacific, 4:45 p.m. Eastern time, exclusively on ESPN Plus. As I mentioned, a clean sellout, the first ever boxing event at the brand new Virgin Hotels Las Vegas Casino Resort. So again, we're looking forward to seeing those of you who will be in attendance. We're looking forward to seeing you at the venue. Everybody else, that you know how to watch the fight. So we will see you then. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Everybody have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.